Greetings and salutations, seekers of lost knowledge. Is it the arcane, the mysterious, or the forbidden that you seek? Enter, for the knowledge is here for the taking, but use it wisely. I am your DM, Scott, and you're stepping into the Grognards Observatory. This week, we're talking about converting yourself to DnD Stats. Have you ever wondered how your real-life stats would measure up in the Dungeons & Dragons world? Come on, you know you have. You've probably had debates with your Dungeons & Dragons friends about this very topic. So, how do you measure these real-life stats in terms of Dungeons & Dragons? Well, I have an answer for you. This is how we did it back in the old days. This is taken directly out of Dragon Magazine, issue number 8. Man, that was a long time ago. In an article written by Brian Bloom. I'm going to share this article with you, but you will see that it was not meant to be very serious. It was rather tongue-in-cheek. Granted, my younger self took this very seriously. So here's the article. We at TSR have heard several people express a desire for a system which gives more realism and variety to the method of determining one's natural abilities. After minutes of exhaustive research, we've come up with an optimal system which is designed to replace the old method of rolling 3 dice for each of the player's abilities. This system is guaranteed to make a player character more in line with your own abilities. So here we go. Strength. To determine strength, go to the gym and military press as much weight as you possibly can. Please lift in good form. Divide the number of pounds you lifted by 10. The result is your strength rating. For your intelligence, determine your intelligence by looking up the results of the most recent IQ test you have taken and divide the result by 10. The number is your intelligence rating. For your wisdom, determine your wisdom by calculating the average number of hours you spend playing D&D or working on your D&D campaign in an average week. Subtract the resulting number from 20, and this is your wisdom. To determine your dexterity, go down to the track of the local high school and run 440 yards. Subtract your time in seconds from 80, and the result is your dexterity rating. To determine a constitution, figure out the number of consecutive numbers a month you have gone without missing a day of school or work due to illness. That number of months is equal to your constitution rating. And finally, for charisma, to determine your charisma, count up the number of times you have appeared on TV or have had your picture printed in the newspaper. Multiply this number by 2, and the result is your charisma rating. Now, I couldn't present this to you folks out there without answering the question that is on all of your minds. DM Scott, how do your stats measure up? Since there is no bigger fan of our fans than me, I offer up my experiences and statting myself as a D&D character. First, I went to the gym. Yeah, I have a gym membership. I went on my day off during the week at around 10 in the morning. I did this because the gym is most often empty at this time. Everybody is at work, and no one goes to the gym at 10 in the morning. This was to make sure that there was no laughing when I tried the maximum military press that I was about to do. Now, I remember training back in my youth, and I hit it pretty hard. I was strong when I was a young man, but I'm confident that I maintained my strength throughout these years of being a dad, getting comfortable in relationships, uncomfortable in the same relationship, comfortable in a new relationship. You get the idea. I sidled up to the bench like a pro, a rusty pro, but still a pro, and with a grunt and some disconcerting popping noises, I hoisted the same weight that I did 30 years ago, and in good form, I still got it. About a week later, and after I had recovered from my lift, I went out to the track, clad in neoprene knee supports and some ace bandages, having taken 800 milligrams of Motrin in an attempt to stave off the inevitable. I got my best runner's form. I used to frequently jog back when I was younger, the operative word being used to, and I took off. Unlike my gym excursion, I went at a time where I knew that many people would be on the track. The reason for this was simple. If I were to have a heart attack while attempting this, I wanted there to be plenty of people available to begin CPR and call EMS. Fortunately, miraculously, I did not have a heart attack, but I was asked several times by several young people that were jogging around the track, "Are you okay, mister?" Using Bloom's formula, I totally dominated the wisdom category because even though I am not spending a lot of time playing D&D nowadays, thank you, COVID, I have been working on a project lately related to D&D, actually a couple, and I've been working on the podcast. I do not have a recent IQ test, and I'm not entirely certain that I ever did have one, but my mom says I'm pretty smart, and that's got to count for something, right? My Constitution score is through the roof. I haven't missed a day of work for being legitimately sick in close to 2 years. My assumption was, in reading the article, that the sick days I took for made-up illnesses didn't count. Finally, charisma. I was on TV once, accidentally, on the news for something that didn't involve breaking the law, so that's a good thing. I have never had my picture in the newspaper, so according to Bloom's formula, I have a 2 charisma. That hurt. So how did it all work out? I'm not going to share my stats with you, but what I will share is I'm probably better off pouring drinks at a tavern or podcasting than I am being an adventurer. Again, this is tongue-in-cheek at best, but it was fun to do it. If you want something a little bit more realistic, like if you wanted to magically transport your players into a D&D world, much like what happened in the D&D cartoon back in the 80s, then you might want to head over to www.kevinhaw.com. He has a more in-depth quiz. That's free to take. There's more questions, there's a better formula, and the outcome is a bit more realistic than the Bloom formula. So how did you measure up? And that's this week's journey into the Grognards Observatory, featuring converting yourself to D&D Stats. This is your DM, Scott. See you next time in the dojo.